Hey there, this is the One Boom, and today we're going to be shaking up how these weapon reviews work. I've been sort of dabbling with different ideas and styles for these reviews, but you know what? I excel in the informal area, and that's where I really want to focus. If I did every single stat, then I'd be more like an exclusive ace or a drifter, or, I'm sort of just wasting your time while you could go to simthic.com and get the stats right from the game. This is a review. If there's a stat that I feel like I need to mention, I'm going to mention it, but doing a sort of the One Boom version of in-depth is just not something that's fun for me or enjoyable to me. I like talking about the weapons. I don't enjoy telling you the exact meters per second the bullets travel at. It's worth noting that the muzzle velocity of this weapon is 480 meters per second, but that's just not relevant to what I'm going to be saying. So the FTAC RECON is a part of the M4 platform family, and the M4 platform has a lot of very good weapons in it, and I personally believe that the FTAC is the worst, at least in my user experience. I've put a lot of hours into the FTAC, and I have to say, it's conflicting on multiple levels, and that's what this review is going to be focusing on. It's too fussy of a weapon, and I'm going to explain why. So the first problem I have with the FTAC is that the most effective range that you're going to fight at is the same range you'd use an assault rifle, because the FTAC's recoil is high, and is increasingly high the more you spam it. Long distance shots become a chore because of this recoil, and the FTAC has a very small default magazine size of 10 rounds. When you factor in this gun is going to take 2 to 3 shots to kill within effective range, and can get a one-shot kill within 18 meters, and those effective ranges are essentially 42 and 70 meters, 42 for the 2-shot, 70 for the 3-shot. So you're often going to be using 2 to 3 shots to get a kill. And if it's a really particularly hectic gunfight, you're going to be using 4 shots. Meaning you can get maybe 3 kills per mag in average scenarios where you're not being, a headshot clicking god. You're gonna be using around 3 to 4 shots in a hectic or fast moving gunfight, especially if you miss a shot. Anyway, you're gonna burn through ammo. So if you have a small mag of 10 rounds, this is extremely punishing when you miss those upper torso and headshots that you need for that optimal TTK. This gun can kill in around 120 milliseconds if you're fast, and it can kill instantly to the head, but that doesn't matter. This is so high risk, high reward. Yes, you can melt somebody within its effective range, which again to me would be around 40 meters at most. After that, I think the recoil is too high to consistently deal with people, and the muzzle velocity isn't amazing. So within that effective range, you're going to be spending too much ammo, making it so high risk for the reward. And again, you're fighting within the range that you could be using a more versatile fully automatic assault rifle. Because we're not even going to be talking about the FTAC in full auto, because the FTAC in full auto is dealing less damage and is still limited to a 10-round magazine. Now you might say, what if I upgrade to the 15-round mag? Well, that has too many weight-related downsides. The downsides for running an extended mag in this game and on this gun, it's too much. It makes the gun too damn heavy for me. The FTAC is really excelling in mid to close range, and if I am slowing my aim down sight speed and my movement speed and my sprint to fire speed and my reload speed, if I'm slowing all of that down, I'm going to have less of a fun time getting into gunfights. I just might have a couple more rounds for the gunfights that are not as optimal. So if the 15-round mag wasn't so heavy, I would say that maybe this gun would just have that as a crutch attachment, and that would be my biggest complaint. But because there's so many downsides, it's just a bad situation. Snapping out of sprint and landing the perfect 2-shot or outstanding 1-shot to the head is the satisfying reason to use the FTAC. You effectively have the sprint out time of the M4 with the ability to nail somebody with a 120 millisecond time to kill. Unfortunately, the recoil and small mag size makes the weapon feel horribly inflexible. A larger default mag and some more manageable recoil would make the gun feel more at home as a heavy AR or DMR. I think if it started with a 15-round mag and you could upgrade it to a 20 or 25-round mag, that would be pretty sweet. Using the weapon in full auto, like I said earlier, is a fool's game, as the aforementioned small mag and heavy recoil is damning in most engagements. And when you try to bring that recoil down and try to increase the muzzle velocity up with various attachments, you end up creating a very clunky marksman rifle. But it doesn't work very well as a marksman rifle because it doesn't deal the damage or have the capabilities of a marksman rifle. So you're essentially killing your effective range, because again, your effective range is close to mid, and when you slow the gun down, you're gonna have even less of a chance of winning those gunfights. So basically what I'm saying is, if you wanted to mitigate the downsides of the FTAC RECON. The attachments you'd use to do that hurt the reason that you would use the FTAC RECON. You don't use the FTAC RECON in full auto because again, it deals less damage and has heavy recoil, so and if you, again, mitigate the downsides, you make it so heavy, you just wonder, why am I not using a marksman rifle or sniper rifle? And it all comes back down to the fact that the range where I'd use the FTAC is the same range where I'd use an M4 or an STB or a Lockman 5.56. It's a mid to close range weapon. And I do like it. Like, I don't love it, but I do like it. And the reason I like it is that satisfying, really fast time to kill, that 120 milliseconds if you can nail it, or the one-shot headshot, is really nice in those assault rifle ranges, and it can really throw people off guard. That high risk, high reward is real. It is a real high reward. I just hate the fact that mitigating the gun's downsides creates so many other downsides that it's not really worth doing that. So what I would say is use this as a aggressive DMR. Use this as an aggressive, lightweight DMR that in close to mid-range can drop people almost instantaneously. Using this as a heavy AR and fully automatic, or trying to pace your shots at a long range like a marksman rifle, they're both doable, and I'm sure you could find attachments that make it surprisingly doable, but it's not optimal, and it's not, I believe, what the weapon should be used like. Speaking of what the weapon should be used like, here's a couple of builds you can try out at home if you're interested. So for this build, this is just a run-of-the-mill, making up for some of the shortcomings while not slowing it down terribly. The FSS OLEV laser, just an optic of your choice, high velocity ammunition, the FTAC Ripper 56 underbarrel, and the BVM 338 muzzle brake. Now this works really well for just keeping your shots on target, staying consistent, snappy, and tracking moving targets at a range, because again, the muzzle velocity on this thing isn't amazing for what it is. And then this next one is one I've just had a lot of personal fun with, so I thought I'd share it. I had a lot of fun with this on stream. Some of you guys were there. You guys saw me using this, and yeah, it was pretty effective. So again, optic of your choice. And then the FSS OLEV laser, the 419mm XF barrel, the EXF barrel, the Talon 16 suppressor, and overpressurized rounds. So you're causing more flinch to the targets you're hitting. And I found that using this weapon, playing methodically and posting up, sort of baiting people with the visible laser from the FSS, and just two-tapping them as fast as I could in mid-range just worked out great. It killed them very quickly, and it threw off a lot of, you know, snipers and other marksman rifles, because when you use those overpressurized rounds, it really messes with people that are using precision weapons. And so this was an awesome counter sniper tool and a really good choke point lockdown tool. I enjoyed the hell out of using this version of the weapon. Again, this weapon is high risk, high reward, and I do like to complain about it because I don't think it's very versatile. I don't think it fits in with the meta very well, but it is good at laying somebody out pretty damn effectively. Now, there are lots of other attachment combinations I've come up with this weapon, but I'm not going to spend the entire video showing you guys each and every one because, again, I just don't think the weapon's that versatile, and I don't think you're going to be able to make all of them work. So because it gets so niche, just trying to make this weapon work becomes so niche that even a build like this that is actually quite effective, surprisingly effective, isn't something I'm going to recommend in a review because, well, it's the FTAC RECON. And my end-all statement on the FTAC RECON is that it's a fussy bitch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, and I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.